Welcome to the Press Preps Roundtable. I am Tony Mealy, joined by Scott Springer and Nick Dukovic. And today we are discussing spring football, or lack thereof. Last week the OHSAA voted unanimously against a proposition that would have allowed Ohio high school football coaches to hold 10 non-mandatory, non-contact spring football practices each year. So what do you guys think about the proposition itself and also the OHSAA's decision to vote against it?
I think OHSAA made a great decision here by voting against this measure. I just think there's too much specialization. Let the kids be kids. If John F. quarterback thinks he's interested in tennis, let him find out instead of maybe there's that pressure there that the coach wants him to be in that spring football practice, learning plays and doing all that kind of stuff.
Well, the only schools that benefits to me are the bigger schools. The smaller schools, I cover a lot of CHL schools, that they rely on multi-sport athletes who are playing a number of sports. And if you have them field a football team in May, they've decimated their playoff roster if they're in there. And it's just unfair to schools like that, the smaller schools. Someone like Moeller, it's no big deal. It benefits big schools. They do this in the South. It does make you a better football team. You get extra practices, you learn more plays, you get more kids out and build some interest up. But the spring sport season is very short. If you're in the postseason at all, you're in May when they wanted to do this. It's not a good idea. Plus, you get to June, and they're going to vote on this now, right? In June, that maybe they can add some practice days. I don't have a problem with that, but this business in May, let the spring sports have their due.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of states, have these practices where you can do that. Kentucky has it, Texas has it. Kentucky, though, it's full contact. You're allowed to have full contact during those weeks. And just last week in the Inquirer, Highlands coach Dale Mueller was quoted as saying, he doesn't know where the program would be without those 2 weeks. And I'm just not sure if I really buy that per se, because you look at programs, across the river like X and Coleraine, they've risen to national prominence without these 2 weeks of full contact practice. So
I don't see how any competitive advantage is gained by these practices. And when the comment is posed to me about these southern states being able to do it, I say look at the population. People are leaving the state of Ohio in droves. As you guys can see, the last census, Columbus is the only major city to gain in population. So you have all these people going down south, which means they have a larger talent pool to pick from.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you look at Ohio, this year Ohio has the 5th most Division I college football signings in America, and Ohio is not a very big state. So when you think high school football, you think California, Texas, Florida, which I understand, but proportionally, pound for pound, Ohio is right there with them. And the thing that I don't like is people say, "Oh, these practices they're non-mandatory." Okay, if you're a high school football coach and you've got a kid out there who doesn't come to the non-mandatory practice and doesn't play a spring sport, you're going to confront that kid, or at least question his commitment to the team, the sport.
This is why they should approve the extra days in June that they're thinking about. Leave May alone, but come June, let's quit this farce of voluntary practice, because the coach knows who's there and who's not. And so there is no voluntary practice. You voluntarily are giving yourself a reason to not be a factor on the team if you don't show up unless you're a special 6'7", 280 kid.
And what's next? High school coaches turn into John Gruden, staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning watching videos, sleeping at schools.
Well, a lot of folks are that way. A lot of the guys are so way up about football. We all love it, but in most of the cases, this is why they do this. These guys need something to do. It's their hobby. They do nothing but talk football 24/7 every day of the week. I run into them at the weight room. Naturally, I don't lift a lot of weights. It's very obvious. But these guys, it's all they can talk about.
Well,
so it's a hobby. Get a dog.
Over the summer, coaches have 2 or 3 months of two-a-days, and they've got pretty much a 4 or 5 month long season. Coaches have a lot of time to do what they want to do in terms of instructing. So, to me, I will say this though. As much as I agree with OSHA's decision to vote against this, I do think that it is inevitable at some point. This is going to happen. The high school football craze, the national, the rankings, the teams playing on national TV, it's not going away. There's a lot of money to be made. People are going to keep making it. And I think it's only inevitable before we see pretty much all states, especially say like Ohio, adopt and implement something like this.
And when your top player goes down with an ACL for going full contact in May and you've got no team in fall, then you can say, you know what, that wasn't a very good decision.
It is the #1 sport in the United States now. It's football crazy. I agree with Tony that eventually we'll see something like this pass.
Well, we'll see what happens. Thanks for joining us. Let us know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.